Alrighty. Welcome and congratulations to the UCLA Bruins, head coach Cori Close, Kiki Rice, and Charisma Osborne. Coach, we will let you open.
I'm having a heck of a hair day now. It's just one of those great moments where you have reference points in your program where things that you talk about become really real in your character. And we talk about the tougher, more together team wins. And how in the first half, we were tough, but we weren't totally together. Not because we didn't want to be, but because we just wanted to make a play to fix it. And I thought we went back to, okay, we got to create easier plays for each other. We got to have our anchor be our defense. We got to get, tip balls, or we got to get certain plays that are going to get us easier baskets, set better screens, be hunters, not reactors. And, these are all phrases that we know in our head that are going to be the keys to success for us. But we need these kind of reference points where we conquer hard things to make it go from our head to our heart. And that's what this was. Couldn't be any more proud of these two players to my right. Their mentality, their belief, their willingness to adjust and respond to adversity. This is what makes sports so special, and that's what makes them transformational for them, not only in basketball, but also in their lives. And so couldn't be more proud of the building block that a win like this, in the way that it happened, does for our program, short term as well as long term.
Thank you, Coach. Back row here.
William Ramirez with the Associated Press. Kiki, the first three quarters, you get a shot, your ladies shot 15 attempts each quarter. I think it came to 31%. Final quarter, toward up. What changed? Was it something you saw to break their defense down, or, as Coach said, did it just sort of click and happen?
I feel like the energy and effort that we really played with kind of in starting it off the second half, I think that's really what allowed us to go on that run. I think we just we got together in the huddle and we just said, okay, we're going to give it our all and we're going to go down fighting. So I think we were going to be okay if it didn't go our way, but we gave it all we had. That was okay. But I think we knew we really just needed to come together, play hard, and it all ended up working out for us.
Thank you. Back row here.
Coach, in the first half, it seemed like you guys were really focused on defending the paint, so much so that you ended up giving up a few open shots at the elbow and in the mid-range. What kind of changed going into the second half? What adjustments did you make that allowed you to be able to more effectively defend both areas on the court?
Well, I think we had to get a little closer to some of those people, right? I mean, Brink and Jones hadn't been shooting the last 5 games, or last 4 games, hadn't been shooting that shot as well. So we were trying to take away the paint first, and especially that right block that they're so effective from. And credit to them. They made some adjustments and hit some open jump shots from the mid-range and even on a couple of threes. And so we just said we had to still make the paint the priority, but we had to recover back out a little further. And knowing that, each of them have tendencies when you take away that jump shot, and we had to do a better job with that. But, I think we had to find a way to do both. We had to make the easy paint touches, really hard, and especially when they started to put it on the floor. And when they got back out, we had to close out, and we had to make that next jump shot harder. And so I thought we made that adjustment. But we had to do more than one thing. They're so good. They play to their identity. They're so good on the boards. That had to be a priority coming out of halftime.
Michelle?
Michelle Smith, Pac-12.com. Charisma, can you talk a little bit about what you guys got from Emily again tonight? I mean, this tournament feels like a coming out party for her. But just in terms of offensively, she did some big things for you in the first half, and then her defense on break in the second half seemed to be a big factor.
Yeah. Emily has been playing so great lately, and I'm just super proud of how she's been playing and really being herself. But I think the biggest thing, not even her offense, because we know she's capable of scoring, but even just her post defense on Cameron Brink. We all know Cameron Brink's a really great player. So just to see her improve in her post defense from even the first time we played them to the second time to now has just been so amazing to see it. And I'm just super proud of her. And obviously she didn't do it alone. There was Lena and Cameron Brown as well and all the other post players who came in. But I'm super proud of Emily and how she's grown, and she's just playing so great, and that just helps our team so much.
Matt?
Coach, Gina had some big shots there in the fourth quarter, had to tip out, rebound, which seals the game, and just
Huge.
Her leadership. It just seemed like every time there was something, she was huddling your players together. Just talk about her performance and what she's meant to this team on this run when you're in a tournament for a lot of her career.
Yeah, Coach Tasha calls her the general, and for a reason. And she has, I think that's probably the number one thing that got us so excited about her becoming a Bruin is her leadership. She has this charisma about her. She has a joy about her but in the pressurized moment, she has that balance of competitive nature and total trust. And so, she's been shooting the ball really well, and that's allowed us to space the floor in some different ways, which allowed Kiki to get to her pull-up and Charisma to get to her pull-up a couple of times. And her ability to shoot the three last game and this game, I think, were really key things. But all of those pale in comparison to her leadership. And it's been really fun. It hasn't been easy for her. I mean, she didn't really even get to practice with us last year, let alone play. And so her finding her leadership style and how that was going to happen, it's just really fun to see the glimmer in her eye and how she takes control of some of those emotional moments.
Front row here.
David Yapkowitz from the Next. Hey, Coach. All season, I've been speaking with you about the development of your twin towers off the bench, Lena and Christine. And as you mentioned yesterday, both of them gave you big minutes against Arizona.
Yeah.
You went with both of them early today in the first quarter there. And as the game went on, obviously with some little things here or there, I thought, they came through in a pretty big way. Just how important were they tonight? And then what have you seen from the beginning of the season to now with their development?
Well, I think that they're relentless. Even today, after pregame meal, Christine is asking Coach Tasha to watch extra film. Having a growth mindset is one of the 3 core values of our program, and that's not easy to do when you're not always seeing the rewards and when you're really hitting a lot of obstacles. And, I'm just so impressed with their resiliency in that. And it'd be very easy for them to sort of pack it in and go, well, I'm not going to get all the rewards this year. I'll wait my turn until next year. But the strength of mind to be able to say, no, I'm going to find a way to get better today. I'm going to work through it today. And I'm going to be available for my team, whether it's 1 minute, whether it's 20 minutes, and it doesn't matter. And that's really been, I think, one of the keys to our growth. I knew we could grow into something eventually, but Charisma is the only one who has been in this situation on our entire team for a whole season. And so for us to sort of put the pieces to being a talented group of individuals to growing into one that has an identity and a collective identity and where everyone knows what their role is and how they can contribute, I think that takes a lot of strength of character and selflessness. And I think Christine and Lena today are great examples of that. But I think it's been someone different every time. I think Gabriella Jaquez has been amazing that way. London Jones, Bryn Maskowicz. I mean, everybody. When you start naming people, you mess up and miss people. But I think that has been one of the biggest reasons our trajectory of growth has continued, even through some adverse moments.
Got the front row here.
Gavin Carlson, Daily Bruin. For Charisma, Coach just talked about you being one of the leaders of this team. With every game, you're passing players on UCLA's all-time scoring list. You're going to go down as one of the greatest Bruins ever. But where does this win rank in your career? How does this feel to, you've been in Stanford before, but to be in the semifinals, to have the opportunity to play in a conference championship game, just where does this rank and how does it feel for you?
That's a good question. Ooh, this might be up there. This might be number 1, I think, honestly. And I think, too, we just had so much fun playing, and it wasn't pretty the entire time, but even like if you saw us after the game, like we had so much joy and stuff like that. So I think this actually might be one of my favorite games that I've ever played in.
Well, front row here, and then we'll go over here.
While you're passing that, I think that when you have a team that cares more about playing for the 4 letters across their chest and playing with and for each other, you can experience really special things. And I think that has, coaches love to talk about that this time of year. But what I'm really proud of as their leader is that they've really lived it. And they've lived it in the tough days as well as in the really fun days. And so that's a lot of fun to watch.
Kiki Nguyen with the LA Times. Kiki, this team has had some fourth quarter struggles, especially against Stanford. What do you think some of those regular season losses taught you guys in terms of lessons to be able to perform this way in winning time against this team?
Yeah, I think, we've had a ton of close fourth quarter losses to great, top 10 teams, and I think we know, we don't want to feel that pain again. And I think in this fourth quarter, we were so close. Last time against Stanford, we really felt like we could have won that game too. So this time I feel like we came out, we gave it our all, and everyone was just hunting for their shot and the best look, and we knocked it down, and everyone stepped up.
All right, Jeff.
Jeff Metcalf, Pac-12 Hotline. Cori, could you just talk about the success you had against Jump? I think you had some success against her in the last game.
We did.
And then she didn't score at all tonight, and takes a big part of their offense away. And then just your reaction to doing this out of playing on the first day, because that's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah, it is a really hard thing to do. Jump's a great player. We lost her a few times in the first game at our place, and that was a huge point of emphasis. And I think she was 0 for 6 when we went up there just 10 days ago or whatever it was. And Gina Conti and London Jones had the primary most of the time to chase her around. And you just we have to commit to taking her away. And they just did a great job of locating her, having good vision. But I also think everybody was tuned into it in transition, because it's not always that way, especially when Gina's the safety. So other people have to locate her and make sure that we limit those touches. But, it was a big point of emphasis in our game plan. And I do think it really helps us double team from other places when we know we don't have to worry about that. Michelle? Oh, for the first day. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be boring, but, you got to have toughness to win in these scenarios. And, we got to earn another win. And, yeah, it was harder. So what? So if you want to be the tougher, more together team, you got to embrace that and say, bring it on. And, to me, it's, do you want to be the tougher, more together team or you're not? This is the circumstances we had. This is what we earned. Go make the most of it.
I want to ask about Stanford for a minute. You talked about them playing to their identity, but that identity has shifted even during this season a little bit. I mean, you took away Hannah Jump, and she's their main three-point shooter. This isn't last year's team with the whole sisters.
Yeah.
And, just bombing away plus Jump, and where you're all over on the perimeter trying to defend and then keep things on the inside. Can you just talk about the difference you see in them right now and what you see as their identity as they head into the NCAA tournament?
Well, first of all, they're a great team, and they were a great team last year, but they're a different team. They're playing with much more size this year. Sometimes they played lineups with, Jones at the 1 and Jump at the 2, and then you go Irief and Fran, and then you've got Brink. They're really long. So I think their identity this year, and obviously I'm an opposing coach, so I don't know all the ins and outs, but is that they're going to score more points in the paint. They're going to either get that off of offensive rebounds, and they've emphasized that and been really successful all year. I mean, you look at so many of their close games. I mean, against USC, they were I think 34-2 in the paint. And, I mean, it's just that's where their bread and butter lies. And they get to the free throw line. I think their identity is scoring from the inside out and dominating people on the glass. And, we were -1 on the boards, but we played pretty even the entire time rebounding-wise. But it's definitely a different style team. But the thing that about Stanford teams is that they're going to play their system to their strengths because they're so well prepared and so well disciplined.
Still.
Billy Witz with the New York Times. Charisma, before after Saturday's game, Cori said that this was going to be like a dress rehearsal for the NCAA tournament because of all the, how competitive this conference is. What do you think that you guys have picked up in the last 3 days that will, just lessons good, bad, and different that will serve you well?
Yeah, I think we've just bought into the mission, and we've really just been talking about playing with energy and urgency, rebounding, toughness, and I think we really just bought into that. And our team talked about this privately, and then we talked with the coaches as well of what we need to do to step up so that we can play together and have fun and be free. And I think we've been doing that ever since. And shout out to everyone for just believing in each other, and then our coaches for just keep encouraging us. But I think just our team camaraderie has just been amazing since Saturday's game. But yeah, it's just been super fun, and I feel like even all of the players who aren't seniors, they've just been playing so hard for us seniors. So it just means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to the other seniors.
We'll go in the back, and then a final question after this.
Tia Reed, Blaze Radio. Kiki, you seemed a little bit out of rhythm to start the game, so much so that the coaching staff even sat you down early on in the first quarter. What were they telling you early there to that first trip to the bench and then throughout the game that allows you to get back into rhythm? And then also, how does it feel as a freshman to be trusted by your team in big moments to knock down, game-clinching free throws?
Yeah, I feel like I started off, I didn't feel like I was totally out of rhythm. I hit my first shot, and then after that, I feel like maybe I messed up a few times. But I think when I got, pulled out, coaches just, as I always do, telling me, put confidence in me, tell me what adjustments I need to make. And that's really what allows me to go back in the game and just, figure it out as I'm in there and kind of knowing my assignment, knowing what to do. And also knowing that, all my teammates have my back. I think today everyone was encouraging each other so much, which was super, super helpful. And we were just, breathing life into each other. And I think that was, we did that incredibly today, and I think that's really one of the reasons that allowed us to get this win.
Thank you.
Charisma, if this tournament has taught us anything, it's that this conference is incredibly deep. You've played the Pac-12 now 5 seasons. Can you talk about how much depth and how tough this conference makes you as a player and how it prepares you just for everything, not just NCAA tournament, but professional life afterwards, because it's so many tough games day after day, week after week?
Yeah, it is a really tough conference. You have to bring your A game every single game, and you cannot take any games lightly. But I think what I love most is because it's so tough, it helps us for the tournaments coming up. And every team has a different style, so I feel like we're very prepared going into the tournament. But like you said, yeah, this conference is just really tough, and it's been fun playing in this conference and figuring out how people are playing me and figuring out how the people are playing our team. But I've really just enjoyed it these past 4 years, and it's just been really fun.
And I want to make this very, very clear, as thrilled as we are for this game, and this is a monumental win, we didn't come here to beat Stanford in the semifinals. We came here to pursue a championship at the highest levels. And so I asked them in the locker room, do you want to celebrate this, or do you want to be prepared to go win a championship? And so, as great as this win is, I want to be very, very clear that as we celebrate the steps that we're taking, this is not at our end game. And so we're very, very focused. Both those teams that are playing right now beat us. And we better get our minds right and have a really good game plan to be the tougher, more together team on Sunday. And so I didn't want to leave here without making that really clear. As happy as we are about this next step, that's what it was, a next step. And it earns us another chance to play on Sunday. As usual, thank you guys for all the coverage. And this is a special tournament, and thanks for giving the stories life to these young ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A revenge tour? Yeah.